Many thanks for your company. This is the AM News. Let's get into the details. It's been long, but finally, there has been some agreement between the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, that is CETAG, and government, raising hopes that academic life on the Colleges of Education campuses will resume this week. CETAG has indicated it will formally call off the strike by close of today, Tuesday, August 20th, after a council meeting on the issue yesterday. And this development is expected to bring a much-needed end to the strike that has impacted academic life at colleges of education across the country. Kenneth Jesse was at the meeting where this agreement was made and reports.
Striking for more than 2 months over their working conditions, CETAG has finally reached an agreement with government which could see to the strike being called off. Now, after a crunch meeting between CETAG, the National Labour Commission, the Education Ministry and other stakeholders, the Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafo-Ewa, announced that they had reached an agreement with CETAG.
We have engaged in negotiations with reps of CETAG, and I'm happy to inform the general public that we have made very significant progress, and I want to believe that from here it is most likely that after tomorrow the teachers will return to school after they have had consultations with their council.
National Trustee of CETAG, Maxwell Bunu, also indicated that they will convey a council meeting where this will be deliberated and the strike will be called off within this week.
And as a National CETAG Trustee, I don't think, with my experience here, it will be prudent for CETAG to remain on strike. So as we have indicated here, we would certainly go back and convey all the issues that have been discussed, approved of by the officials here, CETAG inclusive, so that by close of tomorrow, with the consultation with council, I think we'll do the needful, because we cannot continue to be on strike forever. Certainly the concerns we have, that's why we are here. And if those concerns have been addressed, I think it is just common sense knowledge for us to get back and then do our work.
A back and forth between government and CETAG resulted in this strike dragging for more than 60 days, affecting mostly the students. From the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations, Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
The Auditor General has cited the Controller and Accountants General, the Bank of Ghana, the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Minerals Commission for not disclosing how much royalties was collected from gold exports in 2023. The AG has disclosed that their audits of 9 gold mining companies have revealed that the companies have exported a total amount of 53.1 billion Ghana cedis worth of gold in 2023. And according to the AG, although the Controller and Accountant General reported 2.7 billion cedis as royalties, the Controller, Bank of Ghana, GRA and Minerals Commission have failed to provide data capturing the total exports and right taxes to be collected. Now listen to the justification provided by Assistant Controller and Accountant General in charge of National Account, Dr. Mark Effort Adade.
For gold, Mr. Chairman, is technically an emerging issue. But again, that does not mean we are not accounting for the monies that we receive in this regard. As far as GRA is able to collect these monies and report them to CAGD, we are also able to include them in the national account. But when it comes to accounting for gold, there are some technicalities involved to be able to get the figures right, including provisions. So when the auditors brought this observation, we acknowledge it. And the way forward is that to start establishing the systems and the rules of engagement with all the relevant parties to make sure we're able to get appropriate information on timely basis for inclusion in the national account. So, Mr. Chairman, this for now is a work in progress. And the rest. So, Ministry of Finance, GRA, and Bank of Ghana, we started the engagement. At Controller, we are able to only report on what information we'll be able to receive from the relevant party.
On the issue of under-declaration of how much government allocated in the 2023 budget, Acting Controller and Accountants General Kwesi Ejeyi said the 32 million Ghana cedis difference is as a result of depreciation.
Obviously, Chairman, and I appreciate the challenges that we are currently facing challenges with the funding, because the National Youth Authority was the institution funding these stadiums that we are building. But when our colleague took the Common Fund disbursement to the Supreme Court, and the Common Fund was directed that we're not eligible per the laws that we have passed here to get 5% of the allocation of the Common Fund to the National Youth Authority, which was the source of the funding for this facility. We had started having issues for the past 3 years. So we decided that the little that we are getting from the Common Fund, because she has to use her discretion instead of what you approved, the Parliament approved, directed because of the Supreme Court ruling. The little that we are getting is that we are now making sure that we finish them in phases, because the money that originally the budget that we had cannot continue to use work on all the time.
Meanwhile, Minister for Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, has also provided some clarity to the Public Accounts Committee on why work has delayed most of the construction of youth resource centers across the country.
Obviously, Chairman, and I appreciate the challenges that we are currently facing challenges with the funding, because the
In other stories, the Electoral Commission is refuting allegations it has been illegally registering persons to pad the voters' register ahead of the 2024 election. Pressure group Election Watch had made the claim, insisting that it could be the reason why the EC was not releasing the voters' register to the political parties. But addressing journalists at a news conference, Deputy EC Chairperson Dr. Bosman Asare described the claim as unfounded, questioning the credibility of the group making the allegations. Meanwhile, IGP Dr. George Akufu-Dampare has been issuing a stern warning to political parties and its supporters not to take the law into their own hands ahead of the polls, or they will face serious consequences. Kweku Asante of our political desk has the rest of the story.
A group calling itself Election Watch this morning alleged that the Electoral Commission was secretly registering persons onto the voters' register. But the Electoral Commission is flatly denying that allegation. They say that cannot happen, and per the laws governing voter registration exercise, they cannot do any registration without political parties being in the know.
Anytime the Commission is undertaking a registration exercise, we do it with the political parties. So it's not possible. It cannot happen that the Commission will register people without the political parties. So
the EC has meanwhile been announcing modalities for the voter exhibition exercise. From the 20th to the 27th, the Electoral Commission is going to put the provisional register on display at the various polling stations across the country for persons who have registered and have been captured onto the voters' register to go out there and check that all their details are correct.
Thus, the provisional voters' register will be displayed at all polling stations, which will now be constituted as exhibition centers throughout the country to enable all registered voters check and ensure that their names are in the voters' register. The purpose of the exhibition exercise is to allow registered voters to verify their details.
The Electoral Commission had come under intense fire from the NDC, who had been demanding that a provisional voters' register be given to the NDC and other political parties. According to the EC, the copies have been made available to all political parties, and as of this morning, the NDC had come for their copy.
We wish to state that the external drives containing the provisional voters register are ready for pickup. However, we can state on record that the NDC has collected its external drive, which contains the provisional voters register. The other parties are also collecting them as we speak.
Prior to this press conference to brief the nation on the upcoming voter exhibition exercise, the EC had been meeting the Election Security Task Force led by IGP Dr. George Akufu-Dampare, who has been issuing a stern warning to all political parties and their supporters to desist from causing trouble at this exhibition exercise and also ahead of the 2024 election.
In terms of peace, security, law and order from our side, and also in terms of transparency, fairness from the side of all the other stakeholders, will be second to none, so that our beloved country continue to be a trailblazer for the rest of the continent and beyond. We want to use this to urge all the stakeholders, especially the political parties, that all the issues, all the concerns that they may have in the course of this part of the process, they should ensure that we use due process of engagement of within the law to handle every situation. We don't want to see any situation where anybody will make an attempt to take the law into his or her own hands. If that happens, we will work within the law to deal with the situation.
In the coming days, the tension are set to go up as the Electoral Commission put this provisional voters register on display for persons to go out there and check that their names and their details are properly captured. A lot of allegations are going to go around. The Electoral Commission is urging the media and the general public to treat some of these strong allegations against them with the contempt they deserve. They insist that they have all that it takes to conduct a peaceful process that will ensure that the will of the Ghanaian people is respected. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, the Electoral Commission headquarters here in Accra.
Now, it's almost the same script, but with a different cast, as presidential candidates of the governing New Patriotic Party and the opposition National Democratic Congress take different stances on key national issues in the various manifestos. As a member of our political desk, Elton Brobe reports, the approach may be different, but the subject is one they agree on.
Let's start with the party's position on women economic empowerment. And according to the flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama, the party will establish a women's development bank. The bank, according to the NDC, will cater to small-scale business women, such as hawkers or anyone without huge capital to run their business.
If it comes to trade and commerce, our women dominate that sector. And most of the time, all they need is just a little credit to be able to use as capital to be able to do their business. And yet there is no helper. And that's why NDC says when we come into office, we're going to create the National Women's Bank.
The MPP also recognizes women economic empowerment, but the flag bearer, Dr. Mamadou Bawumia's approach is slightly different.
We will establish a Women's Trade Empowerment Fund, WOTEF, to support women-owned businesses. We will ensure gender parity in the award of government scholarship.
According to the Electoral Commission figures for the 2020 elections, the youth between the ages of 18 and 35 formed the majority on the voters' roll, accounting for 9.5 million eligible voters. The group is likely to determine the outcome of the December 7 general election. Therefore, a focus on them by the two political parties on digitization. The NDC's John Mahama is promising a $3 billion investment in the digital space for the youth.
To support indigenous companies in fostering the growth of the digital economy. Our brothers and sisters and children who are interested in coding will have the opportunity to participate in our Coding for Employment program, which is targeted to train 1 million coders with in-demand digital skills for the growing business process outsourcing and knowledge process outsourcing ecosystems.
The MPP's Dr. Mamadou Bawumia has a similar program for the youth.
In collaboration with the private sector, we will train at least 1 million youth in IT skills, including software development, to provide job opportunities worldwide.
Elton Brobe for Joy News. And of course, the free senior high school program features in the two items of priority for the two parties.
We will protect and enhance free SHS and free TVET, which is truly transforming lives.
We are going to improve the free SHS. We are going to work hard to remove the obnoxious double-track system.
Elton Brobe for Joy News.
The NDC will, meanwhile, launch its manifesto at the University of Education, Winneba, on Saturday. Although the document is yet to be made public, speeches by the party's flag bearer on the campaign trail give an idea of what is likely to feature. Maxwell Agbagba, who has been embedded in the NDC campaign, reports that, among other things, the 24-hour economy policy, the setting up of a women's development bank, free academic facility user fees for level 100 students, scrapping of some taxes the party describes as obnoxious, the establishment of farming services centers, and the fight against corruption will feature strongly.
Supporters of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, gathered at the Jubilee Park in Tamale for the launch of the party's campaign. This event marked the beginning of what is expected to be an intense campaign period. Since the launch, the NDC flag bearer has toured the Upper East region, launched the Youth Manifesto at UPSA, engaged with the young people at Bukum, toured the Volta region, and more. Key among his messages, which gives an idea of what will be featured in the yet-to-be-launched NDC manifesto, is a proposal for a 24-hour economy, which the NDC flag bearer says will create jobs, and more jobs.
NDC has the men and the women. And it's not like what the MPP said, we have the men. And we didn't know they were area boys. And our first priority is going to be job creation, so that we can create jobs for the teeming youth of this country. And that is why I'm proposing the 24-hour economic policy. The policy is going to be linked with aggressive food production and modernization of our agriculture. And that's why I'm saying in every district we're going to create farmer service centers. We will bring the tractors, the planters, the plows, the seeds, the fertilizer. And if you're a farmer, you must register with the center. And at the beginning of the farming season, we'll give you all the inputs that you need so that you can produce your crops.
The establishment of a women's development bank is also high on the agenda for the NDC flag bearer if elected. This, he says, will provide Ghanaian women with loans for their businesses. The NDC flag bearer has also indicated that scrapping what he describes as obnoxious taxes will be a priority. They include the betting tax and e-levy.
Will I say, the matter be street matter?
It be street matter.
Yeah,
if you talk pidgin.
Exactly, make it one pidgin. So my boys and girls on the streets, they are very happy. If only you assure us and promise us that you are going to abolish the 10% bear tax.
This one be the yawa of the day. You see, boys they hustle, and job no day. So now the bet they do small, get money for gobe. So we talk already. Say where we come, the betting tax will go remove them. E-levy too will go remove them.
John Mahama says he's committed to ensuring that first-year students at Ghana's universities do not pay academic facility user fees. Despite skepticism from some sections of the public, he says it is possible by cutting government waste, estimating the cost at between 270 and 290 million Ghana cedis. The NDC flag bearer says he will form a government of less than 60 ministers and deputy ministers of state. He says the future NDC government will improve the free senior high school policy and extend it to students in private schools. He also promises to fight corruption and hold corrupt officials in the Kufuor-led government accountable.
Abuga Pele is my friend. The National Youth Authority, himself and others were prosecuted during my tenure. I was not happy to do it, but I mean, one has got to do what he's got to do. And so, yes, we'll pursue corrupt officials and we'll deal with them. And when we're dealing with them, if somebody does the same in our administration, that person will also be dealt with. So I've sounded a warning. Everybody who wants to be a minister, a CEO in John Mahaber's administration. If the Office of Special Prosecutor comes after you, you are on your own. I'm not a clearing agent. I will not clear you.
Ochihine Osagyefo Amoitio-Aforipenin says, despite the warmongering by politicians ahead of the 2024 presidential and parliamentary election, he is convinced that Ghana will exhibit a civility before, during and after the election. He said Ghana has seen several successful elections under the Fourth Republic with higher stakes from 1992 till date, and have gone through successfully. Maxo Kudeko has more in the following report.
Osagyefo Amoitio-Aforipenin added that the December 2024 election will not be any different from what we have witnessed since 1992. The Ochihine made the comments at the Ochiman Nifa Royal Derby in his honor as part of activities ongoing to commemorate the King's 25th anniversary celebration. He advised the youth and all voters to exercise their right responsibly in the 2024 general elections.
December, yeah.
Osagyefo Amoitio-Aforipenin charges subjects and Ghanaians to inculcate the heart of forgiveness and love for each other. He called on Ghanaians to exhibit the spirit of patriotism and selflessness, especially those in public service, adding that while stakeholders continue to advocate for better condition of service for teachers, teachers must also reciprocate the gesture by executing their duty diligently and in love, since the societal fiber rests on the output of teachers.
as was one more year, and so we are fine. That's all. Who goes to when you are so that we are school, about what they are no man put to, and pray for them. That's what I was to wear. Open your way, also on your way back. And school in
Maxwell Kudeko report for Joy News.
The Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Mrs. Eslo Sukufu, has announced that the government will soon introduce a Knowledge and Skills Bank, a digital platform aimed at improving the digital skills of Ghanaians. The platform will provide access to educational resources, online courses, and training programs focused on emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, data science, and cybersecurity. Maxwell Kudeko again has come through with the following report.
Esla Owusu Ekofu made the disclosure when she donated some 11,949 books to the Christiana Equia Brago DAO Library and Technology Hub in Akim Oda and the Janet Brago Community Library and ICT Center in BNE of the Achiasi constituency in the Eastern region. According to the minister, the Knowledge and Skills Bank will play a crucial role in helping young people to develop their digital skills, which is essential for driving sustainable progress in the country. She emphasized the importance of digital innovation and sustainable development, highlighting the need for young people to take advantage of the digital technologies to drive progress.
10,000 material is currently on the portal. It's accessible to all students, teachers, researchers, and even authors. And they can load their content on it, interact with students on it. Students can download all the material that they need from it. And it is, apart from Egypt and South Africa, it is the biggest one on the continent, which is a very valuable resource for all educational material for our young students, which will complement what they're being taught in the classroom. And this portal will be launched in the next few weeks. It's something that we're very, very proud of because we know how it will assist and enhance education in this country.
The minister encouraged parents and adults to take keen interest in their children's education and encourage them to use the library and technology hub for their benefit. She emphasized the importance of education in achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Govt, which seeks to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all.
Catch them young. Yen omunya esasientema and omunsa ebekukwaso. Inti bedroom time ombeko senior high school no. Na ayekoko amawo ase mframa omuhome. Sana omu wa manone omutete wo mano. Timodie mutira yeye facility wa ha. Akandie bia mu ehia bia eni ho no. Omu ayi masutia na pase anapaise internet no akaka crack dey atode bia enyina so menye drum kran ya mehwe na omababa behwe na yesiesi.
Maxwell Kudeko report for Joy News.
Coming up next is Business Update. In our first story, economist Professor Peter Korte has entreated government to remain focused on achieving fiscal consolidation despite positive signs of economic recovery. His advice is coming at a time the World Bank and IMF have given assurance of Ghana's classification as a debt-distressed country as soon as it reaches a final deal with external creditors. Reacting to the development, Professor Korte urged governments to remain fiscally disciplined and not to be carried away by the verdict of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank.
I mean, it tells you we are on track. I mean, he was quite pleased with the progress so far. He mentioned the revenue numbers. He mentioned how much government expenditure has been able to come down during the period. So it's a positive signal. And I think, but we shouldn't be solely headed. We shouldn't go thinking all is well. We still have to work harder. As he mentioned, there's room for improvement. So let's continue to work hard especially because we are in the election year. If we are not careful, we would put aside some of these gains and rather pursue the elections and at the peril of fiscal consolidation. So let's be very careful as we do. We've seen this before. 2016, we went beyond threshold, and that also cost us a lot. So we don't want to revisit the past.
And that ends it for business updates and the AM news on the AM show. But stay with us. We have news review coming up shortly. Kojo Poku, energy analyst, and Dr. Wisdom Dogbe, financial analyst, as well as Kwame Bochiro from the camp of the CPP are joining us to review the news stories. Stay with us.